Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and this is my final review of the 2012 series Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. It's the final 4 variants of the original 4 figures released in this series. That's right, my friends. We have built up to this. Over the last 6 years, I've been reviewing figures from this 2012 line. I've had so much fun doing it, and we're going to end things off with these final 4 figures. So, it just kind of, seems to fit that we started the line with these 4 versions of the Turtles, and we're ending with them with brand new paint decos, and you can see the packages actually give them fun new names, such as Hothead Raph, Mighty Leo, Tech Donnie, and probably my favorite packaging description, Jokester Mikey. So, it's another variation of the Turtles, new paint deco, putting them on the shelves one final time. Let's open them up and get a good look at them. Alright, here we go. We got all 4 of the Turtles outside of the packaging, and yep, here they are. It's basically the same 4 sculpts seen all the way back at the very beginning of the line. They've come out a few times throughout the life of the line, which is good. It's good to have the 4 main heroes available throughout the line, and they've had different paint decos every time. So this right here is just the latest and the final paint deco variation for the 4 original Turtles. Now, since I've already looked at these guys multiple times over, I won't spend too much time reviewing all of the details here. I will say that they do feature the same kind of head sculpts that we've seen before. The bodies all appear to be the same as those initial releases. One of the differences, which we saw happen throughout the line, is they did change the feet on these guys so that they're the more cartoon accurate round feet instead of the longer separated toes seen on those original sculpts. The big difference here is in the colors used specifically on the belts. You'll notice that all of their belts feature the bright color used for their bandana, and I do actually really like how they did some nice gold paint on the buckles, specifically with Leo and Donnie here. And then, of course, the other big difference is that they painted pupils in the eyes. Now, we've seen them do that one other time before, too, but I will say that this time around, they're actually painted a lot better. That last batch that had the painted pupils were a little sloppy. And while I do kind of prefer them without the pupils, this is kind of cool, giving it a different variation and making them look a little closer to the way they appeared in the cartoon series. So, if you're not familiar at all with these, if this just happens to be your first time seeing it, let me run down the articulation real quick here. You can see the head's on the nice ball joint, so we got good range of motion there. You got the ball-like hinge joints at the shoulders, so for forwards, backwards, outwards movement. Swivels at the elbow, standard joint at the elbow, swivels at the wrist. You got the nice hinge joints at the thighs, so legs can go outward, they can move forwards, backwards, swivels at the knee, and bends at the knee. So these still remain, all the way up to the end, the best posable Turtles in the line, and the Turtles always featured more articulation than any of the other villains or anything like that in the series. These remain to be still the best sculpts, I think, from the whole line. I would still argue that the first releases are probably my favorite of the whole bunch, but these are a pretty nice refresh of colors. The bright colors on the belts do definitely make them stand out. Those same bright colors are seen on the knee pads instead of kind of the browns that are used, so they're a lot more colorful and they do really stand out. One of the things that I really like about these original sculpted Turtles is they come with the little weapons trees, very similar to the vintage Turtles figures, where they have a slew of different weapons to use. So, for example, Donatello there comes with a couple throwing stars, but also he comes with his bow staff that's got the little blade on the end. Now, it's all unpainted, just like the weapons always are for these guys, but, that bladed bow staff was something that he actually used in the series quite a bit, so it's pretty cool to see him come with that with this particular release. Coming over to Leonardo, aside from his normal katanas that we can house there in the sheath on his back, his weapons tree comes with a series of different weapons, including the one larger sword. I don't remember the name of the larger sword, but I thought that was interesting, especially since in the upcoming Rise in the Ninja Turtle series, he's going to be using that primarily, it looks like, at least at the beginning of that show. So it's kind of cool to realize that, well, the 2012 figure always came with one of those larger swords like that. Michelangelo, of course, comes with his standard nunchucks, which you can house there on the back. They are made of the solid plastic, so they do kind of get those bend marks when you bend the chains. Always something that's happened with these. But with his little tree of weapons, he's got some really fun stuff, including the little sickle with the chain. Again, that's pretty cool, and we actually did see him use this weapon a lot, and he is going to be using a chain-like weapon in the upcoming series as well. So I do like that we've got the variety included with these older figures. And finally, with Raphael, he does have his signature size, but with his little weapons tree, he's also got the half size, and he's got these very cool swords, which I don't remember the names of these either, but I love these particular hooked swords there, and that really gives you a very different look, a different way to pose your Raphael figure. So I do really like that these guys came with a variety of weapons. That's not something that we always saw with different versions of the Turtles, but those original releases had them, and I'm glad to see that those weapons were included with this final set of repaints. So, let's go ahead and do a really quick comparison time. I'm just going to go ahead and stand these guys alongside the last releases of the same figures that had a different paint deco. So they're not the first versions from 2012, but these are the first versions that had the painted eyes. They also had initials on their belts. You'll also notice they had the larger separated toes rather than the rounded feet. And like I said, I feel like the pupils are definitely better on these new versions, especially on Donatello. He really got the shaft last time. So there you go, my friends. There is a look at the final paint variations of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures from the 2012 line. It's pretty amazing. 6 years of reviewing figures from Playmates Toys for the 2012 series. The cartoon series was actually probably my all-time favorite series for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they actually produced some really fun figures in this line. There were a few duds, of course, but some of the figures were pretty awesome as well, and I think it's kind of fun that we're coming full circle 6 years later, and here I am ending my reviews of the 2012 series of figures with those same 4 figure sculpts. Kind of fun. Alright guys, well there you go. These figures are probably already out of store shelves at this point because most of the series has already been pulled from the stores. So if this looks like a series that you want to pick up because you're a completist, you'll probably have to find them online. Happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, leave me a comment, don't forget to subscribe, because just because this is the final video on the 2012 series, my friends, this is not my last Ninja Turtles video, so you better be subscribed. Until next time, my friends.